persist until the formation of the National Wrestling Alliance in 1948. The NWA as a central governing body, with its singular, undisputed world champion, would be absolute and undeniable. This control, combined with the expansion of the interstate highway system, and the inevitable popularity and availability of regional television, would usher in an era of wrestling that was defined by what would come to be known as the territory system. The territory system would dominate wrestling for nearly 4 decades, while the borders, authority, popularity, and obedience of individual NWA territories was in a near constant state of flux. To this day, the impact and influence of these territories is still felt. Each territory had its own signature promoter and star. While it is impossible to cram these characteristics into a static, concrete map, we are damn sure going to try anyway.
So open up your eyes, way before it gets too late. Now one man, there's no way you can. Here go street lights running, don't give a damn. A simple explanation that you'll never find. Sinners never sacrifice. We never leave them alone. Is hate really worth the price? Look at what we've done. Never care for compromise. Always threatening someone's life, and it feels like the end of the world.
Jimmy, another week in wrestling.
Yeah, and a good one too.
And it was a good one.
Yeah.
Right? Favorite of all the things you had, what, Impact, which I know you probably weren't into.
Oh, goosebumpy.
AEW.
Oh, chills.
And then obviously Clash of
That
Champions.
was awesome. I like that one. Yeah, my favorite was Cody Rhodes discovering, hey, my arm, titanium. Awesome.
You think he'll continue to use that?
Sure, why not?
I hope so.
Let it lead to the bionic elbow thing you were talking about.
Did you think at any point in that match that he was going to beat Lesnar?
No.
Really?
No. I figured this was the you won, I win.
Right.
And then we'll have the rubber match.
I was questioning it. I thought the same thing going in. This is you win, I win.
Right.
But it was like he wasn't giving up, and I'm thinking, I don't know. Are they going to let him get over on Lesnar again with a broken arm?
No. But they sure made it... They made you feel that way for split seconds here and there. I can see that, but not me. I was like, no,
what a
there's no way.
Specimen Brock Lesnar is.
He's a beast. He's a beast. He's the beast incarnate. No, he's great. He's great. He's fantastic. Well, what about Cody, though? You've got to be slightly mind blown about what Cody's become. I remember at first you were like, I don't know, this feels like Stardust, and then you started to watch more because you didn't really catch a lot of his in between coming back, you know? I mean, he's a stud now, isn't he?
The WWE is, again, I don't want to be anti-AEW, but the WWE, you could see the difference on how you smartly get a wrestler into position to eventually defeat the head of the table.
Yeah. And wouldn't you know it, too, one of their greatest traits is patience.
Yes.
Which is what the marks will say they don't have any of.
But again...
They got plenty of it.
The problem with patience...
Yeah.
Which you didn't get in the Attitude Era because there wasn't a lot of patience in the Attitude Era.
No.
But I think that had to do with Russo's writing more than anything else.
Of Crash TV.
Right. Yeah, you go.
Gotcha.
But the one problem with patience, I think, is it can change, right? All of a sudden it's like... Man, Roman is raking in the dollars for us, and I don't want to pull the trigger.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Or someone gets hurt, or whatever. That is the only problem with patience.
Right.
But Cody, no doubt, is over.
Oh, he's mad over. He's killing it. The guy's killing it. You think it's the blonde hair? I mean, there's so many things that have changed about him. The blonde hair being one of them. The stupid neck tattoo, which I think distinguishes him from other people.
Really?
Yeah.
You kind of liked it?
I didn't say I liked it. I said that it distinguishes him.
I can't argue
CM Punk with his stupid Pepsi thing.
I understand.
It distinguishes him, separates him
understand.
from others. He's got a killer look going on.
He does, and he has the old school wrestler look. I think he looks like an old school wrestler. When you see him next to a Lesnar,
Look at his jawbone and shit.
yeah.
And not for nothing, those be some killer baby blues. Not to be weird, but
Right, no.
I mean, the guy's piercing. He's got a piercing look to him. He's on top right now. He's the goods, and eventually he'll be world champion.
No doubt.
Some point he's going to hold the big belt. It's going to happen.
I can't disagree.
Do you look at Seth's belt as lesser?
Yes.
Since we're on the big belt.
Yes, I do.
So do you look at it the
Dramatically
way?
lesser.
Do you look at it like, remember when the whole WWE, WCW thing happened, and then they were starting to use the world heavyweight champ, the big belt as a second? Is it kind of like that?
Worse.
Worse? Yeah. Well, really?
They already got off to a bad start. It's
Wow.
they wanted to make him the defending guy, right?
Yeah.
And you already opened it up with a tag team match. That's the first thing I thought. I'm like,
He's gonna.
if you're gonna,
I didn't think of that.
I keep on.
I'm going to defend this belt.
I
Tag
go-
team. Interesting.
being pro WWE my whole life.
Yeah.
When the WWE all of a sudden takes over WCW and then they bring the U.S. title into the mix,
Yeah.
it's very anti-U.S. title because it was NWA.
Well, it
to
ain't
me.
shit compared to our Intercontinental.
Well,
title.
that's the way I felt.
Right.
But that changed for me when Cena won it and was defending
That was cool.
every week.
He was elevating it.
It was, and he elevated enough to me that I found it much more important than the Intercontinental title, which would not have been the case.
Haven't the belts kind of flip-flop from time to time? Like the Intercontinental title becomes... Like, look at Gunther right now, for example.
Gunther, the wrestler I'm into,
Right?
the Intercontinental belt still doesn't hold the same weight as the U.S.
the
title.
longest reign of this
I know.
century.
I agree.
I love what's going on
I don't like the
here.
belt, first of all. I hate it. I hate the look
Really?
of it. I don't like it. I think you said you liked it, right?
I don't mind it. It's not... It doesn't annoy me. No, it's fine. I don't have a problem with it.
I always think about the green belt,
Yeah.
which I love. And then Savage's Intercontinental title.
That was nice.
It was a good-looking belt.
That was nice.
This one's kind of a hybrid of the green belt that we love so much, I
Right.
think, but it's not the green belt.
It's okay. It's not too offensive. You don't like the new World Heavyweight belt, right?
Hate it.
Really? Does
Hate
it look a little too much like the AEW Championship?
Too gold.
That's
too
what I was
gold.
thinking. Boy, we really are marking out here, like
We
making
are,
fun of
it
belt.
is.
This belt, it could use
it is.
some frills on it or something.
What was your favorite?
Stone Cold's belt.
What was your favorite belt?
You don't even have to finish the question. Stone Cold's
Wow.
belt. Yeah, Stone Cold smoking skull belt? I love Black Sabbath. How can I not love that?
Over the green Intercontinental title.
Oh, not even close. That
Wow.
smoking skull belt?
Even over the green Bob Backlund belt.
Who is the last person to show up at an event with a belt on his shoulder? Me or you, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You hand me that smoking skull belt? where's my wrestling lollipop? Ooh,
That's funny.
My WWF ice cream ball with my
So what differentiates a Stone Cold belt?
It's just so badass. It was a
the
badass
skull.
looking dude. It was a
It was pretty
badass
bad.
looking
You're all right.
belt.
Had a little red on it. It was
Yeah,
good.
it was
It was a good
mint.
looking belt.
It was.
Then you must have liked the Rock's belt then too.
Yeah, the Rock's belt was nice. I like the old. What was the Eagles? The Eagle look.
That was San Martino's.
That was a great look.
That was a good looking
That
belt.
was a great look. I didn't mind the WWF title during the Attitude Era. It was pretty nice. Didn't have the globe and stuff.
But then again,
wasn't bad.
I always like the old NWA title.
I
too.
do like that. Wait a minute, you do? I thought I asked you about that.
No, not the.
The original.
No, the
NWA
original
title is
NWA title. Yeah,
fantastic.
that's kind of worn like.
That's badass.
Got me over.
Honestly, that feels like a sporting belt, doesn't it?
does.
It
It
feels
does.
like, hey, this shit's real.
It does. No,
it does. That's some good stuff.
So Ronda Rousey still knows how to annoy her coworkers and WWE fans. Ronda Rousey is a champion at WWE once again on Monday Night's Raw. She and her partner Shayna Baszler won the 4-man tag team match for the vacant women's title. You'd think that her latest accomplishment would have her feeling good about the place in the WWE, but she sounds anything but happy Based on her latest comment, the baddest woman in the planet tells the New York Post she's growing frustrated with the lack of competition in the WWE. Many of the tag team women's divisions are thrown together haphazardly. However, the WWE women's division is stacked of world-class athletes like legends such as Becky Lynch, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Trish Stratus, Bayley, Charlotte Flair, Liv Morgan, Carmella, Natalya, Alexa Bliss, Raquel Rodriguez, Shotzi Blackheart, and many more. Thoughts
Shotzi?
on... Listen, you know...
You feeling all right when you wrote that?
That wasn't me that put that,
Oh,
dude.
okay.
I just copied and pasted.
Gotcha. Shotzi. Okay.
Thoughts on Rhonda's comments?
I'm very confused with Rhonda's recent booking and run because I'm not sure if she's cool with this booking. Or she seems to just... I don't know. It feels like she's just settled into, okay, I guess this is my deal, and I'll do it. She doesn't seem like she's all into it.
I feel like Rhonda is just one of the girls.
Right?
Couple of comments real quick. Greg R says the NWA belt Harley Race held was the ultimate badass belt.
Oh, it's great.
RJ Hudson, the Smoking Skull was great, but my favorite was the Big Eagle belt, that undisputed title Brock and Kurt Angle held in 2002 and 3.
That was very cool. That's the one. That's the one I'm thinking about from the Eagle reference I made earlier.
Okay,
yeah, that was really nice. But Backlund did have an Eagle belt too.
Yes, he
Bruno,
did.
Right?
And then
that
they
was
went
beautiful
to the green belt.
Yes. I don't know about this green though with the belt. You always seem to like the green. Is that the Jet fan in you? Oh, by the way,
it was so bad it was good.
Okay.
How's that?
Oh yeah, I can go with like Uncle Floyd.
Like if I was a belt collector, so I've got a couple of belts in my man cave. I've got the original Intercontinental belt replica,
right,
signed by Valentine and Santana, which they didn't hold either. That particular belt, I would have been nice if I had Patera sign it. Then we have the green Intercontinental belt, which is signed by Tito and Greg.
Right.
I would love to have Morocco sign it.
Does Tito know you have the belt that he had left in his basement?
We spoke about it in the
That's
thing.
right. Oh, he does know.
I snuck in his garbage and I took it, and I was pissed off.
Reba.
And then I have the Hulk Hogan original championship replica belt signed by Hogan, which is beautifully done.
Nice.
So am I a belt collector? If I get my hands on it, I would get the Bob Backlund belt.
That would be cool.
I'm sure. Nasty belt.
Did we ask Bob if he has his title from all those?
We did not.
We should. Well,
what do you think? Do you think Bob Backlund has it? I don't think he would have. I don't think back then collecting this stuff
I think back then
mattered.
it was like, give me my belt, you know?
Right.
Like,
yeah, let me hand it over to you.
Right. Unless you're Stan Hansen and you're running it over.
Oh, you're running it over. Now the wrestlers get to keep their belts. And
well, it's a participation trophy.
There you go. Do you ever see them like being interviewed in their house? I wonder when we talk to D'Lo Brown in the main show,
right?
How many belts he'll have hanging up?
They better have given him the European title because he freaking carried that belt during the Attitude Era.
Yeah,
he was wearing it all the time.
MJF, coming off of his pay-per-view. By the way, that pay-per-view, barely half the fans showed up. Number one. I'll make this statement, and I'm trying not to be anti-AEW, but if a billionaire did not own that organization, it would have been closed long time
Absolutely
ago.
Done. This is definitely Junior's plaything.
Yeah.
It is. It's Junior's plaything. And it's not very good.
MJF fires shots at Indie Fed, New Japan Wrestling, despite heaping praise by one big star who pops him. Everybody else is the drizzling shits. Talk to me about MJF, Pharaoh. Are you losing faith in MJF?
No, I don't lose faith in MJF, but I do chuckle at some of the shock things he says, because he's clearly doing this to get attention, and it works most of the time for him. Saying that, do I have to wrestle at the Forbidden Door? F that. It's an effing indie fed. Calling New Japan Pro Wrestling an indie fed will instantly get you heat with their target audience. The marks. Instantly. Like, for example, you know that I'm a bit of a mark myself. So,
sure.
You know, I mean, I love New Japan.
Right.
You're AEW calling New Japan an indie fed? Hardy har har. You're the indie fed compared to New Japan. Historically. It's not even close. It's not even close. I mean, I spent years watching the New Japan Network. Every year, okay, you tell me, does AEW do this? Every year, they have their own WrestleMania, Wrestle Kingdom, and you get 60 to 80,000 people. AEW do that? They don't do that. They have a lineage going all the way back, New Japan. How many decades now?
By the way, Luce agrees with you. MJF is a saving grace for AEW wrestling in general.
He is. You take away MJF and CM Punk's big mouth, and I'm really not sure who's paying attention to what over there. Tell you the truth. If you're looking for mainstream attention,
here's the problem.
Mainstream attention, outside of those two, I don't think you're getting much at all.
Every time I watch MJF Pharaoh, I think to myself, every time he opens his mouth now, he gets farther and farther away from the WWE. Like, right. I think when he first started, people were like, definitely garnered some attention from the WWE. Mm-hmm. But as he keeps going on, I mean, that whole press conference, all he did was drop F-bombs. Mm-hmm. I mean, we talk about it on the show, right? If you curse too much, it loses effect. Mm-hmm. And that's what he does. Right. He does it way too much.
I think that this is going to be the strangest analogy I'll probably ever give you. Okay. But this is how I look at MJF. I look at him as if he came to WWE, he'd be leaving the Red Sox and going to the Yankees. Okay. I'm going to use Johnny Damon as the parallel. Johnny Damon, when he played for the Red Sox, looked like Jesus Christ with a baseball bat. Completely different look and feel than is accepted as a New York Yankee. He joins the Yankees, snip, snip, snippy, all clean-shaven. Now, psychologically, this could mess with you. But he adjusted to the new companies.
Which one was the better Johnny Damon as a player?
They were both great, and I'll tell you why. They were both great. Okay. Because Johnny Damon stole 2 bases in one play in the World Series, and of the 4 Yankees who gave us our last world title, he was one of the 4 best during that run.
Understood.
Matsui, Damon, Jeter, and A-Rod carried us during that postseason.
But put that aside.
But what I'm saying is that you can adjust and go to a place that's more constricted with their rules, more confined about how you're going to carry yourself and conduct yourself and yada, yada, yada. Sure, it's a stretch to use these 2 things. But I believe that MJF is clever enough, smart enough, quick enough on the draw, and willing to take instructions behind the scenes. I believe that if he came to the WWE, they would definitely take a little bit off the fastball, but keep him in the box where he can still be shock without the vulgarity. I think he can do it.
Gotcha.
Roddy Piper could do it. Why can't he?
Well, I keep envisioning MJF doing a Piper's Pit type of thing.
Fantastic stuff, man.
Right? And can he carry that ball?
And by the way, if he had that talk show, it would actually distinguish, to be fair, from all these ridiculous talk shows we have now. His would stand out, in my opinion.
Right, you're right.
Yeah.
Let's roll it over to Tony Khan.
Yeah, what about him?
So MJF is doing his press conference.
Right. The crapping on New Japan. Right.
And
by the way, that whole format they took from New Japan that you like so much.
Yeah.
It's directly lifted from the Indie Fed.
And the WWE took it too now.
Absolutely.
Which is fine. It's great. Okay to take.
It's great. It's great.
Here's the issue I have. Tony Khan is not learning.
No,
like his daddy should send him to some leadership courses. Because these wrestlers are just stomping all... Like, there's a video out there now. You guys could probably catch it out there. They separate Tony Khan and MJF in this video. Mm-hmm. And then MJF's talking. You could watch Tony Khan's expression. Mm-hmm. And it's like, this guy has no control over what's going on.
No, he sits there like a deer in the headlights, especially when a wrestler is completely stepping over the line.
Yeah.
He just sits there like, blah, 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 blah. It's the complete opposite of Vince McMahon.
Do you think wrestling fans would respect him more if in the middle of the scrum he's like, listen, or like interrupt.
By the way, the day that he does that, that's a work.
That's true.
I'm just letting you know.
You're right.
Yeah, the day he does that, that's a work. He'll never be Vince McMahon. Who's he going to feud with? He has no mic skills.
Well,
he's
by
not
the
a character.
way, those every week
he's
special announcers.
Oh, he stinks.
Awful.
He cannot talk. He's not. Vince McMahon wasn't just a genius and the owner and the creator and the promoter. He was an entertainer. That guy's entertaining. He gets it. He gets it in every last facet of entertainment.
Well, can I give you my analysis of why?
Sure.
So Vince McMahon started off as an announcer.
Right. A damn good one, by the way.
Eric Bischoff, what did he start off as?
Hello.
Tony Khan's first thing when he opened AEW should have been, I'm announcing.
Got to start.
Right? Start there with your group of announcers and then come out.
Isn't this walking before you run?
Yes.
Isn't that logical?
Get you ready for the future.
No, it's just a toy to him. It's just a toy to him. And by the way, his father doesn't pay any attention to it. Eventually, his father might look at the bank account one day and go, Tony?
Greg R says Tony Khan is Herb Abrams without the cocaine.
That's not bad. That's not bad. I can see that.
Hard to disagree.
Yeah, I like that one. No cocaine for Tony.
Herb Abrams, by the way, was awful too.
He was horrendous.
He was.
It was terrible.
awful.
He was terrible.
The only reason Herb Abrams is even famous is because he dropped dead of a coke.
Yeah, he was.
Cocaine, and he ripped off people,
right.
Which we're going to talk about on the next show because I got to tell you, I'm not going to get into it, right? Because that's not part of the show. But enough of these wrestlers working people.
Oh God!
I know that was part of the game.
That's all they do.
But it's out of control.
Oh, absolutely.
And there comes a point where you're just hurting people. I think
it's the boy who cried wolf after a while.
Absolutely. All right. Well, last night, CM Punk AEW return. Good move or huge mistake?
As far as their company goes, they need CM Punk on as often as possible, even with all of his controversies, because CM Punk is still an attention magnet. The bottom line is you want people to be talking about your company. And like I said to you earlier, MJF and CM Punk are polarizing. There's no one else there that's polarizing. None. They need to lean on these two as much as possible. And is one on one show and one on the other? Yes. Is that how this is going to work?
That's what I believe.
Good. Eventually have them, doom
let me
again.
Let me ask you this question.
It's still better than
anything else. Are you setting up Punk for failure? Because you're putting them on Saturday night, starting June 17th.
I know.
At 6:05 p.m., right?
They got some nerve, those guys.
But to me, it's like
a 2-hour show. It's 2 hours, 6:05 to 8:05?
I don't even know. If it was an hour show.
Right.
My point is, if you're the biggest wrestling fan.
Yeah. I ain't staying home
at 6:05. Are you staying home at 6:05?
This is not the day and age where the time is so important anymore.
That's
right.
So
watch the damn thing whenever you want.
Exactly.
You can watch it whenever you freaking
now,
want.
you'd probably be smart and not put it on your social media networks and make it only available that time live.
It's easy for me to avoid everything and then just watch the damn thing.
Absolutely.
Whatever I want. It's easy enough,
I mean,
I have to go on Facebook.
I could see looking forward to a Monday night.
Yeah.
Monday
night's a great time. That's great. That's
even
great.
a Friday night you can get away with, dude.
Yeah, you can.
Saturday nights
SmackDown always did it.
Right. So
SmackDown
right.
Yeah, SmackDown's a really good show.
Who the hell is going to stay home from 6:05 to 8 p.m. on a Saturday to sit there and watch AEW wrestling? I don't even get it, man. I got to tell you, when I look at this, I'm like, I've said to you before, you and me couldn't run a wrestling company.
Oh, really? Well, I think we could do better than Tony.
I'm going to now agree with you.
Yeah, I told you all along we could do better than Tony.
It's utterly ridiculous.
Yeah, Tony's just a mark for, he's too much of a mark. It's just like, come on, dude. Take some hints from the company that's always made it work, at least. Try that sometime.
All right, here's another guy getting under my skin, Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah, Wheeler
Yuta has proven to me, and I want you to weigh on this, is he's just can't. The guys he's wrestling with, he needs more training.
Okay.
His timing is bad. The way he doesn't eat. So during the pay-per-view, there's that spot where they super kick, I think, Moxley, and it's an exploding super kick.
Okay.
Pretty big thing, right? Boom, exploding super kick.
Sure.
Wheeler Yuta comes running in from outside the ring and starts attacking the Young Bucks, like right after the kick.
Okay.
Even myself, who doesn't know anything about anything, is like, what are you doing, dude? You got to let this thing
breathe.
Like, let the fans enjoy it.
Right.
And then it comes, then I thought, oh, you're being tough on this guy, Monty, so let's watch Wheeler Yuta last night. And he's getting destroyed. A million moves made on him. And then finally, Bandito does this huge, dude, the frog splash he gave him was like
monstrous.
He kicks out and then puts Bandito in some kind of move, and Bandito taps out.
What?
I'm just like,
moves mean nothing anymore in that company, pretty much.
Terrible. Stingers, how are you, buddy?
What's up, Stingers? What is up?
Thoughts on Wheeler Yuta?
I have very little thoughts on Wheeler Yuta. You know what I almost feel like? You ever see a wrestler who's been shoehorned into something they're pushing with guys who've already made it, and there's this other guy that's in there?
Right.
That's that other guy.
Is there another? No, you're right.
He's right there.
You're right.
You know what I mean? You got you got Danielson, Moxley, and even Cesaro, and Claudio. Oh yeah, we got Wheeler Yuta.
I don't understand AEW this,
Whatever.
right? So so you keep pushing Wheeler Yuta,
Right.
but Rusev, what's his name now in AEW?
Miro. Yeah.
He gets pushed to the side. You let him go.
Dude, what a joke.
Then you have some kid, I can't even remember his name now, beat Jericho.
Right.
Right? Like, that's a big deal.
Is that Daniel Garcia?
No.
Flash, whatever.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, Flash.
What have they done with that guy now?
Flash Flintstone.
When 1-2-3 Kid beat Razor Ramon,
right.
It's carried on.
Launched into a Hall of Fame career.
It's like, what do you...
I don't know what they're doing. They have no follow-through. They always do this. They put 8 pounds of poop in a 2-pound bag.
Then you got Taz's son. It's like, what happened to him?
I don't know what's going on. Talk about losing momentum. Hook was the bomb.
Right.
You had this little guy coming across like a badass. What did you do there? They let all the air out of that balloon. They don't get it. You're right. Basically it's Daddy's
Tony
cash.
Khan
Daddy's cash, and this is my toy.
He's got to be writing these shows.
He must be.
Because there's no agent in their mind that would do this.
By the way, do they ever say, hey, we got these important writers? You never hear that, do
No,
you?
you don't.
Because Tony's doing everything, right? Is he?
And by the way, Johnny Photo, who's in next week, Johnny Photo, a friend of the show, who used to work for the WWE. Mm-hmm. He's no longer working with them. AEW's production, he told me, because he tried, he applied and they interviewed him, and he said their production budget is extremely low.
I'm not surprised. They feel bland to me on a show level. Am I missing something, or was I just raised on Kiss?
But there's the miss, right?
know?
It's like spending your money on the wrestlers and not the production is a mistake.
That's ridiculous.
Spending your money on the production and making the wrestler is the answer. That is a proven formula.
What's in a look? Everything. What?
Yeah.
What part of that are you missing?
Yeah.
What's in a look? Hey, live from someone's living room. It's Monte the Pharaoh. Someone kill me. What are you talking about?
Thank you.
Hello, TV studio. Hello.
And now they're even piping in booze. I mean, Don Callis or whatever the fuck
Don Callis?
Yeah, comes in there, and it's like, you think this guy had the most heat in the world. There wasn't even enough people to make that amount of noise.
Right.
It didn't even match. And anyone that defends it and says that was not piped in,
Right.
like at least in a SmackDown or a Raw thing, obviously they do pipe in stuff, but you could believe it because there's 15,000 people there. There's 4,000 people. It sounds like there's a million people booing this guy.
Wouldn't it be great if the production guy messed up and slipped on the button and you hear 2 people, you stink. Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Instead of the massive booze.
That would be awesome.
That'd be hilarious.
Takeaways from Night of Champions. A couple things I wrote down. Tell me if you agree.
All right.
WWE's production team is second to none. They make mid-level storylines feel like the most important feud of the year sometimes. This package that opened the show was great.
Correct. I agree. They get you pumped up for the next few hours.
They know how to start a card.
They sure do.
The stage was huge. The walk to the ring was a little on the long side because the stadium was so big.
This will never bother me because Seth Rollins ran 3 miles at WrestleMania a couple of years back, and I was like, wow, you need a bottle of water while you're cashing in? You know what I mean? So, no, it's fine. It was fine. They adjust to their surroundings, and they usually make good on what they're dealing with.
Rollins' jacket was appropriately ridiculous.
I love that jacket. It's so poofy. I was like, he almost looked cute. I was like, look at Seth. I love that jacket. It was hilarious.
It was always great when early near falls only get a 1 count. It allows them to keep getting closer and closer to the pin over time. Mm-hmm. When they start with the close 2 counts, it goes nowhere.
This might be one of the most intelligent things you have ever written down.
Thank you.
That is massively...
Well, thank you, Mr.
That
Pharaoh.
is massively correct. So correct. I love kickouts at 1 early in a match. I love that. Because, no, you ain't going to get away with this so easy.
I love
tonight,
when a wrestler jumps on and tries to get the quick count right away.
Right.
It makes you feel like they're actually
trying to win. He's trying to win the match. Absolutely. Boy, that makes just too much sense.
Like in real life, you don't want to sit there and have a marathon where you're out of gas and out of energy and you're spent. You want to get a quick win and get the hell out of there.
Who the hell has a bar fight and says, hit me a few times before. You know what? I'm just getting started. What are you kidding me? You want to annihilate and go back to your beer? Absolutely.
The suplex Styles used to send the Visionary into the corner was nasty. Rollins looked like he landed right on his head. But that was just because he's good at selling a spot.
He's great at selling spots, although I do worry about
Probably,
him sometimes.
you know what? Don't tell me Kenny Omega's the greatest wrestler. Seth Rollins is the greatest wrestler on the planet, and he has been. We're talking about wrestler in the ring.
Right.
For the last 3 years.
It's interesting that you say that because Seth Rollins and Kenny Omega are very similar in some ways to me. So they both killer wrestlers, but if I'm picking one, I would love to see how I'll probably never see it, but I would love to see how Kenny Omega would handle WWE, the audience, the crowds, the bits, the scripts, and everything else. He is amazing in-ring wrestler, but Seth Rollins is right there with him. And if anybody doesn't think that, then they're just hating on WWE. Because what I just said is probably pretty controversial to some people.
Gotcha.
And I don't give a damn because they are similar to each other. You know, they really are. I would love to see Omega come here. I know it'll never happen, though.
No matter who does it, a reverse suplex always looks so
Oh,
precarious.
it looks nasty as shit.
The way Rollins landed on the apron after Styles suplexed him was scary.
Yep. That's... Why do they do that, by the way? You know damn well that's the hardest part of the mat. Why do they do that? So they can eventually have a Facebook fund? I mean, what's with the apron? It's nasty stuff, man. By the way, nobody knows how to land on an apron like Kota Ibushi. That's a whole nother story. But how do you think about AJ? AJ's a good soldier, right? Gave a great match, didn't he?
AJ won me over. When he first came to WWE,
Won me over for years
I was like, come on, because I hated him in Impact.
Okay.
On TNA.
Well, he was completely different.
But he, Hall of Famer.
Oh, absolutely. He's as great can be. He's and that's another one who's right there. You know, the Kenny Omegas, the AJ Styles, and the Seth Rollins. There's some great ability out there.
Finish off the show.
Yeah.
Need your opinion.
Yeah.
The Bloodline story, if anyone was getting bored with it, it just keeps going. It's so good.
It's great.
To me, it ranks up there.
It is.
But give me your top 5 storylines in any federation at any time, in your opinion.
Well, it's going to obviously...
And it probably deserves a little more time than we're giving it today, but go ahead.
I'll try to rattle off some. Well, first of all, the Bloodline would be one of my 5. Austin McMahon storyline. Come on.
Absolutely.
How can we ignore that one?
Absolutely.
Honestly, the NWO storyline. Especially who's the third member and everything that led up to it. And even some of the stuff that happened after it. The NWO storyline was amazing.
Absolutely.
I say the Cobra Clutch Challenge.
Woo! Wow.
I say the Cobra Clutch Challenge storyline. Come on, that went on week after week after week. And then eventually Pat Patterson, the announcer, gets involved. And then the Great Alley Fight and all that other stuff. I know that's a little old school for some folks. But those who remember the Cobra Clutch Challenge and that storyline, the whole build-up, amazing. Now, I wonder if I need another one, though, don't I? How many do I have here? Oh, Hogan Andre. One of the greatest storylines of all time. And my personal favorite one, Savage. I hate you, Hulk Hogan. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, so there's a bunch.
Couple of comments. Jason says Hogan Andre saga.
Yep. Brother, you're bleeding. That was great.
Let me see here.
Tore the cross off Hogan Andre.
Lucky Dog said AJ doesn't take a backseat to anybody.
No, he doesn't.
Davio says Britt Baker looking a little thick yesterday.
Really?
Yeah. Lucky
Interesting.
Dog says the Shield was awesome. The Shield really wasn't storyline, though, right?
The breakup of the Shield was, dude.
Stinger says Bloodline number 1, LOL, what?
Who said the Bloodline was the greatest one of all time?
No, I don't think you said that. You said it's in the top 5.
I think it is.
I don't think you cannot put it in the top 5.
Well, if you don't want to, that's your opinion. That's fine.
But I don't think you can.
But if you're gonna chuckle at a storyline that has done what it's done for the last almost two years now or whatever, what are you talking about? This is an excellent, patient, twisting storyline that just keeps going. It's been fantastic.
He's saying Bloodline only draws 1.5 million.
Okay, and CM Punk draws 1.
I gotta be fair on this one. It's not the same.
Right,
It's not the same.
Yeah, I mean,
because if you're gonna say it only draws 1.5 million, I'm gonna say this. Okay, Counterpoint Stingers, who I love very much, so don't take it personal.
Yeah.
They also draw the most money in the history of wrestling.
Right.
So you can't call
which
times
is which.
are different.
Right.
Right, because times are different.
Let me ask you, are the stadiums being sold out? Is there 80,000 people at WrestleMania?
Roman Reigns
You know,
has
we're
sold
not
more
robots.
tickets and made more money
'cause the product
than
is
any
winning.
wrestler in history.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to say it's different, money
Sure.
is much more expensive.
Sure. Right.
But also cable's different too.
Right. Roman Reigns is one of the all-time greats. I hate to break it to folks, but he is.
Davio, Rick Rude, Jake Sherrill storyline was awesome.
That was awesome.
So many great storylines.
That was a great storyline.
But you got to talk about the top ranking ones.
That was a damn good one. I like that one.
Anyway, guys, want you to join us at 9 o'clock. We've got the great D'Lo Brown in studio.
That's
really look forward to it.
It's
Very
a pretty
excited.
honky kind of D'Lo, but
It was
tried.
a little honky.
Yeah, well,
Jay Will says when Ole Anderson turned on Dusty Rhodes at the Omni. Dude,
nice.
dude, how about when the Freebirds turned on Kerry Von Erich?
Right.
I mean, there's so many
the
great
Freebird Von
storylines.
Erich feud forever. That's a killer storyline. Oh, my Lord.
How about the Orndorff turn on Hogan?
That was great.
Or how about the Orndorff turn on Piper?
What about Zbyszko and Bruno?
Oh, my God.
What are we talking?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we could
Was
go
there
on.
a build on Zbyszko Bruno?
Yeah, there was. Yes, there was, because Larry kept challenging Bruno to a friendly match, and he kept going, oh, no, I can't, kid, I can't. And then finally got pressured into it, and then we had the great turn.
All right, put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Greatest storyline in history.
Greatest storyline in history. It has to have the greatest payoff. That's Hogan Andre.
And I will say this.
It has to have
the
the
Hogan
greatest payoff.
Andre story, whether by design or accident,
Yeah.
started years before it,
It
actually
did.
happens.
It really did. It really did. It did. It started years before with Hogan as the bad guy and Andre as the good guy.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'm going to go with you on that.
Yeah.
Jay Will, Freebirds blinding JYD almost got them killed in the mid. Listen, dude, there's
Yeah.
so many
There
great storylines.
There are.
I mean, look, we had Ronnie Garvin in here. How about when Ronnie Garvin turns on Dusty Rhodes in Baltimore?
What about Valentine and Santana? That was a great storyline.
Great storyline.
Yep. A lot of them.
How about, if you want to consider a storyline, and you should throw it in there, Valentine Piper. When Valentine Piper come to the WWE, they still finish out the storyline on Piper's Pit, right?
Yep, they did.
And they kind of shake hands and.
I know this will make you cringe a little bit, but it's undeniable. CM Punk, the summer of Punk, when he was going to leave, and that's a great story.
That is a
Blows
great
kiss to
storyline.
Vince McMahon
Yeah.
after beating John. Oh my God,
Davio, great one. I was just thinking about that when Dusty Rhodes needed a partner, and he brings in Nikita Koloff.
That was amazing. How about this one? But my name's on this list.
Hey,
Are you kidding?
great one.
You just made the list.
Great one.
That was amazing, Jericho and Owens.
All right, with that, 9 o'clock. Send us on our way, buddy.
You've been watching This Week in Wrestling, and until next week in wrestling, later.